I've long waited for this moment. With your death, I will find peace.
Well, in Arkham Origins, what we did is we tried to pull it back like about 5 years or so before Arkham Asylum to give ourselves some space from those games where we would have room to grow and to introduce things that weren't in conflict. And we decided to do it at a time in his career, around the second year of his career, where he starts meeting key villains like the Black Mask Joker, Bane for the first time. This was a very exciting period for us. And we are very familiar with the events of Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, as is the rest of Warner Brother and DC, and we just worked closely with them to make certain that the characters that we were creating feel like that they are going to become the characters that we're familiar with in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
I present to you the death of the Batman!
I think one of the big differences is that Arkham Asylum and Arkham City both took place in prisons. They were places that just had criminals in them. Where with Arkham Origins, we're in Gotham City itself. And even though the city is quiet and is almost under siege from villains, it is still Gotham City. There are still civilians out there who need to be rescued. There are still crimes taking place that you need to stop. Everyone on the team is very excited with the voices that we have. We have Roger Craig Smith playing Batman. He has brought, I think, exactly what we needed. You can sort of hear in his voice how he would become the Batman voice that we are familiar with in Asylum and City, but yet it's a little more raw, a little more aggressive. And of course, Troy Baker has done an amazing Joker, and I think fans have really gotten behind his rendition of Joker, and naturally it's like very powerfully influenced by Mark Hamill's portrayal in the previous Arkham games and in the animated series, and we're very happy with what he's brought to the character.
I'm on your side.
One of the areas that we decided to expand the gameplay in was in the detective gameplay with our new case file system. And this system allows the player to use the power of the Batcomputer and scanners in their cowl to scan evidence that's in the world in a crime, and it creates a simulation of the events that led up to that crime. And then the player can scrub through that evidence and the simulation and find more evidence and solve the crime. And we did this because being a detective is a big part of being Batman, and we wanted to give the player a chance to participate in that more with this cool new toy. And we're very happy with what has come out of that. As far as why that didn't show up in other games, Eric Holmes, our creative director, I think famously already said, it's like, well, how do we know it's not there? He doesn't use it. The players don't use it in the other games, but it is a technology that he could very well have, but they decided not to use. And for my part, I think that Batman himself becomes a more experienced detective in his head and probably relies on technology less and less as he gets older. So I think that that's something that maybe factors into it as well. But ultimately, we just wanted to give something that's really cool and fun for the players to play around with, and I think they're going to be very pleased with this new gameplay.